Okay, so the common table expression in short we call that as a CTE. Okay, so CTE is a temporary result set. Okay, so now what is mean by a result set? A result set is like the data that will be returned by some select query, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when we write a select query, we get some data in the output that is nothing but the result set, right? So uh, in some time or many of the cases, we need to store the data for some temporary period, right? So temporary period in the sense within the query window. Okay, so that result set you will be going to use in the next steps. Okay, so we need to store that data to somewhere and CTE can be used for that. Okay, so CTE is nothing but a temporary result set that can be referenced within a select, insert, update, or delete statement that immediately follow the CTE. Okay, what does it mean? So we can store the result, okay, that is called as a CTE, and that result we can reference into a immediate statement next to the CTE. Okay, now what kind of statement we can use this CTE data? We can use this data into select, insert, update, or delete. Okay, so in these statements we can use the CTE, we can reference the CTE dataset. So whatever dataset we are storing, that we can reference into the immediate next statement. It may be either select, insert, delete, update, or delete. Okay, so there we can use this data, whatever we are storing. Okay, so for example, there is some syntax we are having for the CTE, and let's say we are having a, this is a select statement. Let's say select star from, we are giving some name, let's say employee. Okay, so this is your result set we are having, let's say. Okay, so these result set you can store into some, let's say this is a CT. Okay, and as, so okay, there is some syntax we are having. We will see the syntax, but this is where you are storing this data from the select statement into this CTE. This is a name of the common table expression. It can be anything, and then this you can refer into the next statement, maybe update or delete, okay, or insert, or again select. Okay, so this is what it means. Now we will see how we can write a CT, what is the general syntax of the CT, and how to refer that into the immediate statement next to the CT. Okay, so there is a syntax we'll be having for this. Okay, so this is what the syntax we are having. Before we write the query, let's look at the syntax for creating a CT. So CT will always start with keyword. Okay, we write with the name of the city. So here we can give a meaningful name. What kind of data, what kind of result you are going to store, that result, like that you can store into the city query here after this. Okay, so with name of the city, these column names are optional. Okay, so if you want to give some different name into the result set, you can give the column name, but generally we don't follow this because column names will be available in the select query here, right? So whenever we write a select query, we will be having a column name. So same column name will be available into the common table expression as well. So this is optional, and most of the time we will not use this. So the general syntax will be normally with CTE, okay, then adds, and then we have the select statement. So this is the syntax with name of the CTE, column names. We can have as many columns, but this is optional. And then as in parentheses, we will write a select query. Okay, make sure we are writing the select query into the brackets. Okay, so this is the general syntax we are having for the select query. Okay, what change we are having? Just we are starting with keyword, the name of the CTE, as, and then your select query in the bracket. Okay, so we have these two tables here, TBL department and TBL employee. Okay, let me create those. I think we don't have. So I'll just create these tables and load some data as well. Okay, so these are the two tables we are having. We are having some data into these two different tables. We are having first table is having the employee data. Second table is having the department data. Okay, so in employee data, we have ID, name, gender, salary, and department ID. The department table holds the data like department name, location, department head, and department ID. Okay, so now there is a question. You have to write a query to get the employees earning above the average salary in their department. Okay, you have to write a query to get the employees earning above the average salary in their department. We have seen such kind of questions previously as well, right? We have solved those using derived tables or subqueries, right? So same query, same question we are going to solve using the common table expression as well. Okay, so first we will see how we have solved this using derived tables. Okay, so in derived tables, what we do, we write a query into the from clause, right? In the from clause, we write a query and we give some alias name to that. That is nothing but the derived table, right?
Yeah.
So what we are doing here, we are selecting the department ID and average salary for that department. So if you group by the department, you will get the name of the department along with the average salary within that department, right? Now you have to compare this average salary, okay, with the employee's average salary. So employee ID 1 you will take, you will compare with this average salary. Okay, with that particular department. So let's say employee ID 1 is uh, working in some, okay, employee ID 1 is not there. So employee ID 2 we are having and he is working in department ID 3. So what you will do, you will compare the employee's average salary, like, sorry, employee salary 3000 to the average salary of department ID 3. Okay, so that is how you compare. So average salary of department ID 3 is having 3900. So that you will compare, right? So what you will do, the derived table, okay, that is derived using the subquerying to the from clause. Okay, you will compare or join with the main employee table based on the department ID. So you can compare the employee's department ID with department's department ID and you will see the salary. Okay, and you have to find only those employees whose salary is greater than the average salary. So D dot average salary. This is the average salary of the department. And this will give you the result like who are the employees we are having where the salary is greater than the average salary. You see here, I have taken both the columns here so we can see the data as well. Okay, so all of this data or all of this employee who are having the salary more than the average salary. Okay, so this is how we can solve this using derived table and subquery. Okay, the same thing here also we have done here. Okay, so this is just to see the department ID 1. Okay, for department ID 1 I have written the query, but this is the query where we are writing the subquery to derive the table and we are getting the result. Now same thing, if I have to write using a CT. So CT, what is going to do? It is going to store the data for temporary period, right? So we can store this result set. Okay, so what generally CT is used for? CT is used to replace the subquery. Whenever you think like you are getting the subqueries or you are thinking like subqueries like these derived tables and all making you complicated, you can resolve this issue or you can replace this subquery with common table expression. You can whatever your subquery you are having, that result set you can store into some CT and that you can refer into the your immediate next statement. Okay, so same thing we are doing here. So whatever these derived table subquery we are having, that I am using as a CT. So with, you know, CT is always start with keyword, right? So with, I am giving the name to the CT and the name is like department average salary. Okay, abs, and in bracket I'm writing the same query what I have written in above, right? So select department ID and average salary of the department. After grouping by department ID, I will get this department ID and average salary for each department. So this result I am storing into this CT. Okay, CT is nothing but the temporary result set. So whatever data we will be getting here, like 4 rows, 5 rows, so that will be stored into this common table expression. Now this common table expression, as per the definition, we can refer immediately into the next select, insert or update or delete statement, right? So now I'm going to use this department average salary into the next statement. Okay, so here I'm using, okay, select employee dot id, employee dot name, employee dot salary. Okay, and then I'm joining this with CTE. So this is the CTE. So this I'm joining with the employee table. Okay, I don't need this, I think. So that should be fine. So I can just take this as a dot average salary. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are joining employee table with the common table expression. Okay, and what common column we are having? We are having the department ID, right? So department ID is there into the CTE as well as department ID is there into the employee table as well. So based on that, we are joining and we are checking employee only those employees where the salary of the employee is more than the average salary that we have calculated into the CTE. Okay.
Okay, so will it create the table department average salary in the database or not?
No, this
Oh,
is a temporary result set. Okay, so this will not be stored anywhere into the database. This is within the query window only.
like
Okay,
select.
that is what, right. That is what we are calling this is a temporary result set. This will not be stored anywhere. We will not be able to see CT into the object explorer. Like we see tables, procedures, function, all those things we can see here, but CTs will not be available there.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And now if I run this separately, what will happen? Whether it will execute? It will
So,
fail. Why? Because, okay, we are referencing an object called a department average salary.
mhm,
And we know we are saying like this will not be stored into the database. Okay. So when we are executing this, okay, this is not present into the database. So this will be created here on the fly
okay.
and then it is used. So we need to run the
So, oh,
CTE along with the next statement.
okay.
Okay, now you will see here the select statement running in the CT that is not returning or that is not displaying the data here
Mhm.
because this is running and storing the data into this table. So this is not being going to be displayed. That is just going to be used into the next statement.
We cannot see the result, the output
We can see
department.
the data of the CT as well. So for that, if you want to just see the data from the CT, you can write the select query as well. If you
Okay.
want to see. Okay, but that does not have meaning. If you are going to use select star from, you can just run these as well because that is what it is going to store.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. That is
Right,
the thing.
right. Now you see here, when when I was referred this CT here in the select statement, the next select statement it is throwing the error. Okay, why it is throwing here? If I run this now entirely, it will throw some error here. Invalid object name, department average salary. Why it is throwing the error? Because the definition of the CT, what it is saying, a CT is a temporary result set that can be referenced within a select, insert, update, or delete statement that immediately follows the CTE.
Mhm.
Okay, so only once we can use the common table expression. So
Oh,
when
okay.
I have stored this result set, the CTE I have used in this statement. Okay, so same CTE I cannot use here again.
Mm. Okay.
because I have used the CT in the select statement that is immediately following the common table expression.
So, okay, we should remove that to get the result.
Right. So if you remove this, then I can see the error is gone now.
Hmm.
Okay. So once the CT is declared and it is created, that CT should be used immediately in the next statement. Okay. If you try to reuse that once again, it will throw the error. Maybe you are writing this like CT or update, select, insert, whatever you are writing, it will throw the error. It will not, it cannot be used. Okay. Or even in between the CT and your used CT used a statement, if you have something, okay, so it will show the incorrect syntax, or here also it will show the invalid object name. So we should not have anything in between the common table expression and the statement that is using the common table expression. Okay, this is how we write the CTs. Okay, and that is what the definition is. So CT is a temporary result set that is used or that can be referenced in the select, insert, update, or delete statements that immediately follows the CT. Okay, so we need to make sure we don't have in between in like we don't have anything in between the CT and the next statement. Okay, this is how we use in the select statement. Let's say now this average salary you have to update for all the employees. Okay, so you have to update the salary of the employee to the average salary within the department. Okay, so let's say employee 1 is having salary like 5,000 and he is working in department 83. Okay, so salary of that employee should be updated to 39400 like this. Okay, so again we can use the CT into the update statement as well. So let's say I'm using this again one more time. I'm creating the CTE, and now instead of select, I can use this into the update statement. Update E from, okay, so I'm joining this with average salary. I don't need the now this where plus and all I don't need because I just need to update. So what I need to do, set employee salary is equal to average salary of the department. So where is the average salary that we have calculated into the CTE? So it is present into the A. A is nothing but the CTE table, right? So this is how I can refer the CTE into the update statement as well. Same thing we can do with the delete statement. We can do with the insert statement as well. Okay, so CTE can be referenced in select, insert, update, or delete statement that immediately following the CTE. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is how it is saying like the now the question says okay, you have to use in the delete statement, and the question says delete employees from employee table who have salary more than the department average salary. Okay, so now we know how to calculate the department's average salary. Using this select statement, we are calculating the department's average salary, right? Now, the same CT we can use in the delete statement. Okay, and we are deleting only those employees where the employee's salary is more than the average salary of the department.
So it will delete temporarily for this. Uh,
No, because we are deleting from the employee table, right?
oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so even you delete from the CT as well. Okay, so the data will be deleted from the department's table.
Oh,
Okay, so delete update will update permanently.
mm,
Okay, or delete permanently. It will not be for temporary period. Okay. So with this, we will be deleting the data from the employee table where the average salary of the employee is more than the average salary of that department.
Mhm.
Okay. See how we are using the join in the delete and update statement. Okay. So we are what I wanted to update here, I wanted the employee table. Okay. So if you just wanted to update the employee table, how you will write the query? You write update TBL employee, right? Set salary is equal to some value. You write a where condition, right?
Mhm.
This is how the simple where clause you write. If now I have to delete the employee data, okay, but only those employees whose salary is more than the department average salary. So how do I know that like the salary is more than the department average salary? So for that, I need to join this employee table with the CT because in CT we are having the
Average
department
salary.
ID and its average salary, right? So based on the department ID, we can join these two tables like CT table and main table. Okay. And we can join, we can write a where condition there. Okay. We can write a where condition there where the employee salary is more than the average salary or the employee, something like that. Okay, if you need that condition. Okay, but now while joining this, okay, while using the join, we are using the from clause in the update statement. Keep in mind, okay, using update or delete. When you are going to use update the data or delete the data by using the joins of multiple tables, you have to write a from clause here. Okay, else in the update, do we have the from clause if the update is going to be happening in only one table? No, right? You are writing update table name, set column name equal to value while condition if required. Okay, but when you are using the join to get the required data or to update the required data, you need to write this statement like this update. Okay, if you are not going the alias, you are not giving the alias name, you can give the entire table name as it is as well here. Update table from employee table, join the table name, and then like on condition. But it is recommended to use the alias name so that we will not have the confusion because we will not be repeating the table name multiple times. Same for the delete as well. Okay, so if you have to delete the data by joining multiple tables, you can write delete from join and then on condition. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is again CT in update we are writing. So we are calculating the CT, we are storing the data and we are using into the update statement. We are going to update the employee's salary to the average salary where the employee salary is below the average salary, right? So if any employees are there whose salary is below the department's average, so we are making sure like we are going to equalize the salary of the employee to the department's average salary. Okay, so this is how we can use in the update. Let's say now you have to use in the insert. Okay, so you can use into the insert as well. So this CT data you are taking. So this data you can use into the insert statement as well. Insert into some table name. Okay. And selecting the data from the common table expression. So select insert, update, delete. Okay. These four statements where you can use the data that you have stored for temporary period. The data inside the common table expression. Okay. Any question in this?
So except select, the insert, delete, and update, it will permanently affect on our datasets, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are referring that data.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and using that reference data, we are going to use we are going to use to insert, update, or delete.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, now let's say you have the question something like this. You have to, uh, or we can say a result, find department name and count of total employees in each department. Okay, now accept the city. How you will write this query? Okay, you have the two tables. Let's start from dbo dot. Okay, you have these two tables, and the question is like you have to find out the department name and the count of employees within that department.
We can use join and group by.
Right. So we can use join and group by. So select star from dbo dot department name is present into the department table. So I will use the department table first. Use the name as a D, then join. If you have to see the count of employees, we need the employee table, right? Because there is where the we have the employee information. So we can use the TBL employee E. We can join on department ID. So D dot ID is equal to E dot department ID, right? So what it will do here, we can give the D dot department name. Okay, and now we want to have the employees count. So select count of star, or you can simply say count of employee ID as well, or just column as well, fine. Okay, as employee count. Some name I'm giving here. Okay, the column is ID, not the employee ID. Now this ID is like aggregates column name because it is present in both the tables. So we need to mention this column you are taking from which table. So I'm taking from the employee table. Okay, so with this, what will happen? You will get the department name and employee count. Okay, but we are using the select statement and an built-in aggregate functions. The column we are mentioning into the select statement should be either part of group by or it should be part of a aggregate function. So we are going to use that into the group by clause. Okay, so with this, you will get the department name and count of employees. Right. So same thing we can calculate again using CT as well here. Okay. So what we are doing here, we are selecting the department ID and count of employees into a temporary result set. Okay. Like we have department ID total. Okay. ID we don't. Select as total employees. What I did here.
Do we need to write ID, department ID, and total employee inside the parentheses in the with employee count?
No, actually, I was about to write this statement here. Okay, so what we did here, department ID and count of star as a total employee from PBL employee group by department ID. Okay, so this is simple. Like using the only this employee table we are calculating. Okay, we are having department ID. Okay, so using only employee table we are calculating. But what we need a department name, not the department ID, right? So how to get that? Now whatever the result set we have stored here, okay, in the employee count CT, we can use that into the uh, join, okay, along with the department table. Okay, Now there is one department we are having where the ID is null. Okay, where the ID is null. So for that we can give some default name using is null condition. Wherever there is a null, so we can say like no department, or we can say the uh, invalid department name as well. Something. Okay, and total employees we are having into the this common table expression employee count. Okay, so like this we can use that into the result set, or we can use into the select statement. So we are storing first a department ID and the count of employees, and that we are joining with the main department table to get the name of the department.
Mhm.
Okay, using CT we are doing this, but this is a simple. So instead of this, you can directly go with this. Okay, simple thing is there, but this is CT is mostly used for complex data set which you want to store for temporary period, and you want to refer that into the next query, either in select, insert, or update. Okay, so maybe we can have some stored procedure into the adventure works which are using the common table expressions to store the data. Can look for it. Let's say first itself. Yeah, so see here we are having this CT called bill of material, BOM. Okay, and that is storing the result set which is calculated by this select query. Okay, and now this BOMCT is referenced into the next select statement. Okay, so like this, normally we use the CTs because now we have already filtered the data. Okay, we are having these filters, date filters. Okay, we are having these date filters again, and now we just need to select the data without any filter here. Okay, so we are just like if you have to directly write the query here, you have to write these multiple filters. Okay, you have to union the data and all, so that we are avoiding here. Okay, because okay, if you try to take the data directly from these tables, which tables, the bill of material or maybe other tables we are having like products table and all, so it may have the huge data. So what normally you will do in the common table expression, you will filter the data. Okay, so you will having the limited set of data, and that data you can refer into the next statement. So it will optimize the queries as well, because you are not going to use the main tables directly as it is bill of material or maybe the production product table, because it may have the billions of records, and if you directly use those tables into your next queries, it may impact the performance. So first we are taking the filtered data, we are filtering the data and storing into some temporary result, and that you are using into the next statement. Okay, so that is how we use the CTs. Say any other procedures we are having. Yeah, normally all these adventure works procedures are created with common table expression only. If you see any of the procedure, most of them are like using the CTs. Update, it is not having that. The select procedure, whatever you are having in AdventureWorks, all are using CTs. See here as well, they are using the common table expression. Okay, so this is what the CTs. So CTs are nothing but it is a temporary result set that is going to be used into the immediate next statement, insert, update, or delete, or select. Okay. Now, how many CTs can be created? Okay, we can create as many CTs into one stored procedures. Okay, now let's say, can we refer this CT into one more another CT? So yes, you can refer the CTs, okay, in the next CTs as well. So which means, let's say, for example, maybe I will be having the notes.
We have to write whole queries, right? to call
Right.
the same city. Yeah.
Right. So is it possible to create a multiple cities? Yes. Okay. So we are having this city here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what this city is going to do, it is going to have the department name and count of employees. Okay. Where the department name is equal to payroll and ID. So this is calculating the count of employees in payroll and IT department, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that we are storing into this city here. Okay. Now I want to create one more city immediately. Okay. And I want to store the data for like HR and admin department for that, like count of employees in HR department, count of employees in admin department. So now you see, I'm not using the uh, with clause here. I'm just giving the comma and creating the another city. So we can create multiple cities using a single with clause. Okay, if you have to create, you just need to give the comma before creating the next city. So for example, the same thing we will write down here as well. So let's say HR and maybe which department we were using here. Okay, so let's say HR and payroll we want. Okay, but here, okay, before that, why it is giving the other department and invalid department name? So there is a department called other department as well. Okay. Okay, so HR and IT we want in one result set, and then we want remaining like payroll and other department in one result set. So this is how we want to create a CT. So I can write with CTE and I'm giving the name as HRIT. Okay, as select from department D join with employee on D dot department ID E dot department ID.
Only ID or only ID or department ID?
No, department ID, right? Employee dot department ID.
Oh, okay.
So we want the department name and count of E dot ID, employee dot ID as a employee count. Now this we want only for those departments where D dot department name. Now where clause we are using, so we should use the where clause before the group by in HR and IT. Okay, so this is the result set which is storing the data for employees, employee wise, like count of employees in HR and IT department. So this we are storing. Now I want to store this one more result set into one more CT called
Payroll and others.
payroll. Okay, payroll and other. So now I don't need to write a with clause here. Okay, so I don't need to write a with clause like this. If you remove this, okay, so it is saying like it is throwing the error. So immediately after creating one more city, I need to store one more result set into another city. So at that time, you can just give the comma after first city and you can directly write the name of the common table expression and then write a statement that is going to store the data into the city. Okay, so with city, what missing? We are missing ads. Okay, okay. Let's say this is a payroll and other department. Okay, So now we are having two cities created with single with keyword. Okay, using single with keyword. Now we can use both the cities here. Select star from city dot HRID. Okay. Now if I use the another select statement and I try to get the data from the city payroll, it will throw the error. Why it is throwing the error?
Select my favorite IT. Oh,
Why it will throw the error?
so this should call only once.
See, what is the definition of the CT? CT can be used immediately after the creation or immediately after the storing the results into the CT, right? So now this is our common table expression definition, okay?
Mhm.
And it should be used immediately within the next statement, okay?
So
If I'm
either one
using
will
the
be
next to
called.
next statement, okay, this is like violation because it should be used immediately after creation. But immediately after creation, we are having one select statement, and then again we are using the select statement to get the data. That is the reason it is throwing the error. So this, if you have to select the data from both, you may need to have something to combine these two statements.
Oh, okay.
Okay. To either you can use join or maybe you can use simply union as well. So now if you use the union, this is like single select statement, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Which is combination of two result sets. So now you can see the data from both the cities here. Okay. So we can, what I wanted to say here is we can create two or multiple cities using a single with clause. Okay. After first city, you need to give the comma, give the second city name as write the select statement. If you want one more city, you can write city third. Okay. Third as in bracket you can write select whatever your query. Okay, you can write fourth as well. So as many cities we can create using a single with keyword. Okay, and you can use that all cities in the immediately next statement.
Mm.
Okay, so this is how we create a multiple cities using a single with clause. Okay, so this is what the common table expression. Now, one more thing we are having, I think it is not mentioned in the notes, but there is one concept called a recursive CT. Okay, there is one concept called recursive CT. Okay, and this is important for the interviews as well,
Mhm.
because sometimes interviewer will ask you to write the queries for the recursive CTs. Okay, and it looks some complex. Okay, to understand only. Okay, we will see what is that. So first, the definition, what is recursive CT? So recursive CT, like it is nothing but like common table expression, right? So recursive common table expression is a CT that calls itself repeatedly in a query used to solve. It is not going down. Okay, used to solve the hierarchical or recursive problems. So whenever you want to solve the hierarchical problems, like you want to see the top node employees, then the employees under the particular manager, then again we'll be having the second layer, third layer, fourth layer like that, right? So if you want to find out the hierarchical data, we use this recursive CTs, not only for the employees, any hierarchical data. Okay, any organization charts or folder file structures. Let's say you are having one folder, under that we are having one more folder, one more folder, one more folder, and under that we are having files. So that kind of data also we can find using the recursive CDs. Okay, three traversals. Okay, like or the mathematical series like factorials, 5 factorial, 3 factorial, 2 factorial, like that. Okay, so hierarchical data or like organization charts we can calculate using the recursive CDs. And how we are going to do this? So in the recursive CTE, the CTE will call itself repeatedly inside a query unless and until we get the final or we can say the root of that query. Okay, so there are two things we are having. Okay, CTE will always have two parts, a anchor member, which is nothing but the starting point of the recursion. Okay, that will always return the base rows, like always a top level manager or maybe the parent key. Okay, so that will be returned by this anchor members. And then we have the recursive member. The recursive member is nothing but the refers to the CT itself. It will repeatedly applies the logic to return the next level of the data. Example, employees under a manager, or maybe let's say you are having a okay, let's say you are having a it's not working. Okay, you have a employee. There is some issue. Keyboard is not working suddenly. Okay, so let's say I'll just go like this only. So we are having some data into the table. Okay, where we have the employee and the manager relationship. Okay, we have the employee ID 1 who is a manager. Then under that employee ID 1 there are two employees like employee ID 2 and employee ID 3 is working under the employee ID 1. Okay, then again there are some employees who are working under employee ID 2 or employee ID 3. So like this, we are having a like hierarchy of the data set. Like there is a CEO. Under that CEO, there are some top level leaders. Under that top level leaders, again we have the project manager. Under project managers, we have the employees. Under employees, or we can say the group leaders, we are having the employees. Under employees, we are having the developers. So like that, there is a hierarchy we are having. And let's say the question says you have to find out all the employees who are working under a particular manager. Okay, not only the immediate reporters. Okay, you want to find out all the employees working under that manager, maybe direct or indirect reportees, right? So direct reportees are like who are working under immediately them. Indirect are who are working, okay, not directly, but under the employees who are directly reporting to the manager, right? So we want to find out all those. So using the recursive city, we can easily calculate that. Okay. So for example, like, okay, not just for employees or the managers. Okay. Here are some other examples as well we are having like category, subcategory trees, like product categories. Under that we are having subcategory. Under that subcategory, again, we are having some products. So that also we can do. Okay, bill of material, parent child components. Let's say we are having main component, under that there is sub component, under that again there are sub components. Okay, folder structures or generating sequential data, number, dates. So these are some examples where we can use the recursive CTs. Okay, the question once the recursion, how it will end. So SQL Server continues executing the CT part until no more rows are returned. Okay, so once we reach out to the final row, after that we are not having any more rows. Okay, and SQL Server will not return any rows after that. So the execution will stop there until and otherwise we are getting all the rows. Okay, we will be always executing the common table expression again and again. Okay, so we'll see some example. So, let's say we are having a, let's say, employee. Okay, employee ID 1 is a manager. Okay, employee ID 2 is a employee. Employee ID 3 is working under a manager. Okay, then under that employee ID 1, who is a manager, then under that employee ID 1, there are two employees like employee ID 2 and employee ID 3 is working under the employee ID 1. Okay, so again we have the employee ID 1 and employee ID 3 is working under the employee ID 1. Okay, so we are having a Okay, and here it is saying like you must include a termination condition in a recursive query to prevent the infinite loop. Okay, so it is saying like we should have some termination condition like while loop, right? So in while also, if you don't have the condition that is going to be false, the while loop is going to be execute for infinite time, right? So same way for the CT as well, we should have some uh, condition that will be used for termination. Okay. Now let's say we are having, I think I need to create the table. Okay, I have this tree structure here as well. So I will create one table called organization chart. Okay, and I will insert some data just to understand how it works. Oh, I created in master. Let's create under this 1031. Okay, so we have this select organization chart. This is the table, and see here we are having the data like this. Okay, we have the CEO. Then under CEO there are two employees because we see the manager ID is one. Manager ID one is nothing but the CEO's name, right? So under this we are having three employees like who are the vice presidents of respective department. Okay. Under these employees, like let's say I want to see the vice president of engineering. So under this employee Carol, we have uh, two more employees who are the managers, right? Like Judy and Mallory, right? Engineering manager, front end, engineering manager, back end. Okay, under this manager, there should be some employees. So we have to see the employees whose manager ID is 10 and 11. So there are again four employees we are having, right? So like this, we are having this hierarchy here into the table. It is stored into the table. Okay, now the question is you have to find out the uh, hierarchical data, right? You want to find out the hierarchical data where you want to see the employee ID, okay, employee name, manager ID, and the level of that employee. Okay, level of that employee. So if it is a CEO, he is a top level. Then we are having the second level employees, third level employees, fourth level employees, and so on. So like this, we have to calculate this hierarchy here. Okay, so how we can do this? How we can calculate this using the common table expression? We can do that. Okay, so the common table expression, but it is a recursive common table expression. So when we say recursive, recursive is going to use the same CTE again and again. Okay, so there are two things we are having. First one is a root node, or we can say anchor member, which is nothing but the starting point. Okay, so starting point will be always your like top level data in the hierarchy, maybe a main product or main like a CEO, or we can say the base folder in the file structure. So it will be always your starting point. And then we will be having union all statement, and then we are having one more CT, one more select query that is going to use the same CT. Okay, if you see here, we are defining this is a CT employee hierarchy. We are writing a query to get the top level employee. So where the employee manager ID is null, that is your top level employee. Okay, we are saying this as a level 0. And then union all, we have one more select statement. Okay, but now in this select statement, if you see, we are using the employee hierarchy. What is this employee hierarchy?
CTE.
It is CTE. So we are declaring, or we are creating a CTE, and we are using the CTE within itself. Okay, normally when we create the CTE, we will use that in the next either select, insert, or update statement, right? But here what we are doing, we are using the CTE within the same CTE definition. Okay, so how it will execute? Okay, so first, like how to remember, this will be the anchor query. First, you should write always an anchor query where to start. So where it will give you the top level data. Okay, then union all, and then you will have the recursive query. So recursive query is like define how you will move to the next row, okay, or the next level. So what we are writing here, we are writing selecting employee ID, employee name, employee.manager ID, okay, employee.manager ID, and then these all three columns we are taking from the main table, okay. Now this main table we are joining with the CTE table. So what we are having in the CTE, so CTE will first have this data, okay. So now with this we are going to join the next recursive query. So based on which we are joining based on the employee ID of this first result anchor query is equal to the manager ID. That means, okay, the manager ID in the employee table is equal to the employee ID of the manager. So this is how it will return the data. Okay, because we need to find out the hierarchical data. So first we need to know top level employee. Okay, so this employee's ID, right? Top level employee's ID will be the manager ID of the next employees. You are getting right. So top level employee, which is nothing but the CEO, his ID will be the manager ID into the employee table for some of the employees.
Yeah.
Right? So employee ID of the CEO will be the manager ID for some of the employees. Okay, so that is the reason we are joining the employee ID from this hierarchy to the manager ID from the E is nothing but the organization chart table. So like this, we will get the next level. Okay, now when we get the next level, okay, so when we get the next level, first I'll just show you once again. Okay, we got the this as a result set. Okay, let's say we got this result set. I don't know, I need to restart my system. It is not working anything. Okay, so this is my first first set of query, first set of result set. Now in this, what will happen? I will join the organization table with this result set. Okay, and based on which? Based on the manager ID and employee ID. So this ID, I'll be looking into the organization table and I will be getting that data. I need to restart. Okay.